As part of efforts to help understand and improve the world we live in, the Center for International Advanced and Professional Studies engaged professionals and stakeholders in a public lecture titled Creating a Culture of Excellence for Productivity and Profit. The lecture, attended by business, political, and corporate professionals, was organized by CIAPS to engage stakeholders on issues that will have a positive impact on the workplace. Amongst notable personalities in attendance were Honorable Adegoke Olajide, member Ekiti State House of Assembly, Chief Tola Adeni, a veteran journalist, and actress Clarion Chukura, a Nollywood legend. An interactive session with an interesting lecture from keynote speaker Anthony Killer, a professor of strategy and development who spoke on the culture of excellence. He said, building capacity is a key factor towards excellence. This, however, paved way for further engaging conversations. In an interview with Flip TV, some of the dignitaries spoke on the wealth of knowledge they garnered from the lecture. In conclusion, the culture of excellence needs to be facilitated into our society with an aim to engendering development in them.
Chukura, Nollywood legend, and United Nations Ambassador for Peace with the Nigeria Peace Corps. The lecture today of the CIAPS, the Center for International Advanced and Professional Studies, Culture of Excellence. I came here wanting to just see what's on the table, because Professor Anthony Killer, I was aware when this center began, that would be some 7 years ago. That was when I was aware. I was first invited to the first office of this center, and 7 years later, I wanted to see what the quality of lecture is like, especially with the titles Culture of Excellence. And I am glad I did come, because I have learned immensely, about communal and corporate excellence, what is necessary, and I believe this lecture should be one that should go around our universities. It is one that actually should be taught in our different spheres of government, so that from the local government level, people need to listen to this lecture, because this has all that is needed to educate and inform people about what we have been talking about, the vision that Nigeria needs a culture of excellence. And of course, in the corporate world, I believe if this lecture is made available to more than the ones who are here today, it will help the workforce to become more focused.
Thank you very much, man.
Thank you.
Yes, my take home is that nobody is an island when it comes to issue of knowledge, and confirm the fact that we learn every day. It's only when you're dead that you stop learning. There's some things that I learned here today that are quite different from what I used to think. Like the question I asked, when he said, the only one that can motivate yourself. Initially I didn't agree with that. Even till now, I still don't. But he has made a point to say that is inspiration. When you see other people, when you admire some things in some people, which helps you to drive home your own point, which helps you achieve your own goal, your own vision. That is inspiration. This is different from motivation. And it's still true that it's only you that can motivate.
What do you encourage? Should this be replicated in our institution in Nigeria?
Oh yes, it should be. Because it helps the process of learning, irrespective of your age.
Well, the bit of the lecture that I got, because I came in a little bit late, was very illuminating. And of course, it was emphasized that very important to always strive for excellence, and excellence has a direct impact on productivity and profitability. So I think the lecture is very beneficial to people in the corporate sector, and for someone like me who is a member of the State House of Assembly, I think the contributions of some of the participants illuminated some of the issues that we face when you try to pursue a culture of excellence that may be misunderstood by some other people in the system. Of course, it was stressed there that one must always align himself with the reality of the system in which you find yourself, and also try to get as many people as possible on board your vision. When Prof was speaking, one of the quick points that he said the chief executive would always check up points is constantly ask, are we all on the same team? So, and that means you must align the goals and interests of everybody in the direction of the general goal. So it's an attitude of don't leave anybody behind. So in summary, the lecture has been very, very illuminating and beneficial.
You had a suggestion that politicians should have their own separate.
Yes, I suggested that the center should consider organizing this kind of a program which directly focuses on the political system and political organizations, because it may not be outrightly easy to transfer all the points made here into the political system. But I believe that if the center arranges this kind of a lecture for politicians, and then the politicians can come and express some of the things that we see, I'm sure Prof will be able to give us the answers as to how to address it.
Nini, journalist since 62 years ago, and I was really impressed, very elated that Sokila had invited all of us here to share part of the experiences of life, and also to teach all of us about excellence. And now the culture of excellence is greatly needed in Africa, not only in Nigeria, but amongst humanity in general. That is my take from here.
How do you replicate this institution in Nigeria?
Well, the way to do it is probably continue to talk to leaders of the country and to impress on them that they have to be excellent in what they are doing, and to make sure that Nigeria continues to grow and reach its destined place in Africa and also in the world.
Yeah, you have been a strong voice right from time. Even some of us were not born, and when we're born, we see the ball is still very loud.
Yeah.
In making sure that Nigeria is putting in its right footing to make a culture, have a culture of excellence. But yes, we are still having wrong people in the wrong system, making things difficult. What's your view, your take on putting Nigeria in the right place and adopting some of these things mentioned by Dr. Anthony Akino?
Well, Nigeria can never be put in the right place if the leadership structure is warped. So the first thing to do is to ensure that we institute a culture of excellence, and we also try to create a system where genuine leaders will emerge, and that things will not be based on parochialism or on ethnicity or religion. So, and Nigerians should be advised not to sell their birthright, not to sell their individual rights for small change, like giving them money during elections and so on. In other words, Nigerians must try and endeavor to get the best people in the right places so that the country can thrive. unless that is done, I don't think anything can be done.
Lastly, from my side, and last time we heard that Professor Taishula said clearly, and Nigeria is a wasted generation. This country is a wasted generation. Putting it squarely with the culture of excellence in our system, do you think we are doing the right thing, or we are just stagnant to move this country forward?
We are doing the wrong things, but it wasn't Shola who said Nigeria was a wasted generation. It was what it was said was Srinika. And I think was talking about generation after his, because his generation was not wasted. The generation that is actually wasted is your generation, those of you coming behind us. Because in our time we are the best. I never shared a room when I was in the university. But now there are 8 people, 10 people staying in a room in the universities. So it's your generation that we have wasted. It's your generation that we have.
But they mentioned it then, sir.
Yes, they mentioned it then. It was talking to younger generation, not his generation. Shunka's generation was not wasted. Certainly not. He's 88 now. He couldn't have said his generation was wasted. The generation was not wasted.
What's the way forward?
The way forward is for young people like you to make sure you fight for your rights and make sure the country is better run. Thank you.
Well, I think we must, once we agree that the culture of excellence is something that is good for everybody, both in our private life as individuals and collective as in our organizations and in public affairs, we now have to strive to work daily to excel in everything we do, either as individual or organization. And when we excel as individuals, we get promotion and reward. As an organization, we increase our productivity and our profits. I think it's important to know that human beings cannot just survive. We have to excel. It's not important. It's not enough to just be there. We have to fly over. That's the way to do it. Yes.
What are developments? How are you going to develop our society?
Well, we develop it by learning and being focused, having vision, and then applying what we learn. We must have a vision, but know that it is not enough to have a vision. You must also know that you have to manage the reality you live in. But I think the first thing is to have a vision, to know that I want to be better than what I am today. Then once you have that, then you work towards that.
What are the challenges of implementing this in our society?
Well, the first thing is knowledge. I think basically most problem of humanity is lack of knowledge. The first thing is to know. Then when we know, then we then see how, depending on who we are and where we are, what challenges we have. We have problem of infrastructure, we have problem of finance, because a lot of time we don't have money, we have problem of opportunity. But overall, if we are well informed and with a bit of luck, we can turn challenges into opportunities once we decide we want to excel.
From my own side, I think you have taken around the issue of culture of excellence. And my question is Nigeria a right place to practice others and achieve good results? That is one. Secondly, we are in an environment where things actually work, like in Europe, where they have a structure, they have things, you mentioned it there, they have a culture of excellence. Do you think culture of excellence can work in this country?
Well, there's no way it can work. It is human beings that make the difference. The people the countries where a lot of people rush to, some of them to go and live, some of them end up dying there. That is our own people. Those countries were not made by God that way. It wasn't. They didn't just wake up one day and find it. It is people that decide that we must excel. So we should hope teachers should excel, journalists should excel, doctors should excel. It is desire to excel that creates good things. Infrastructures are not God-made; they are man-made. So we just have to get people who can dream what is good, and then find the capacity to do that.
Okay, in politics, Nigeria today, lastly, we have people who just by chance got themselves in position, various positions, and they're not doing well. And there are some people who have the talent, who have the skill, and what it does to make a difference. They don't have the opportunity. Do you think? How do you really still need to make validate checks? If you have this quality to prove yourself, to be known, to be accepted by people,
Well, I think those who are interested in politics should study it and find a way to excel in it. I don't believe everybody should be interested in politics, but those who are should find a way and excel in it. Just as you excel in medicine, in arts, you excel in engineering. If you're interested in politics, you need to find a way to excel in it. I think there's a challenge for good people. It is not enough to be good. You also have to be capable. I suspect good people are not capable enough in Nigeria. They're standing aback. Because after all, if good people, it's not enough to have integrity or just goodness of heart. You also need the capacity to stand up to the situation you're dealing with. So that means that just as managers understand their market, if somebody feels that the way Nigeria is today is not good, what that person should do is to find a group of people that reason like him or her, come together and identify what they think they can do for the country, then understand the people they need to deal with to be able to change things. That is the reality. So we talk about vision meets reality. They need to know what are the impediments to development and improvement in Nigeria. And realistically, in a very scientific, materialistic, sort of calculative, secular way, they need to deal with those things. And there are different ways. In some countries it was reform, some days it was revolution. Whatever it takes, those who believe. And if you need to take the risk of doing what it takes.
Your name once again?
Anthony Killer.